Now, once you got your concrete in there dry.
So he's using quickset, which just means if he wants to, he can do this repair same day. It's a great idea.
So we're good to dig
Not
this
a
hole
rock.
the rest of the way.
Pretty slick. You also know there's no rocks because we're using a one-man auger. I would love to live in a market where you can use one of these augers. It means the ground's typically pretty good.
Okay, so now I'm gonna put our overlap board in, our scab board.
I'm really not sure the benefit here.
Today's video is brought to you by Nationwide Industries, the Fence Pros' #1 choice. And they're this Fence Pros choice for a couple reasons. The most recent reason? Gate kits. They've paired their most popular hinges with their most popular latches in the most common post sizes to make it easier to grab and go. Also, as a consumer, it makes sure you know you've got the right hinge for the right latch. For example, if you've got a pull gate, they've got a pull gate kit just for you. It's got the Cornerstone hinge in it. It's got the Trident 20-inch. Both some of our most popular gate hinge hardwares. You've got a vinyl fence with 5-inch posts. They got you covered. They've got their Cornerstone 2 hinge. They've got the Keystone Traverse latch, which I love a lot. They've also got a handle in there. But if you have a vinyl fence with, say, a 4-inch post, they've got that too. All at Nationwide Industries. Check them out in the link below.
Today's video is titled, I Don't Replace Fence Posts, My Better Method. If you'd like to watch the video in its entirety without my commentary, we'll include the link in the description below.
If your property has these wooden posts and they're deteriorating, first instinct is often to remove them and their concrete footing and put in a steel post. Today, I'm going to show you why that's not necessarily your best bet.
So I agree here. So a lot of times when you take these panels down, one, depending on who built it, sometimes they'll use 16-foot rails that overlap. Even if they use 8-foot rails, you take the panels down, you replace the post. The post never goes perfectly in the same spot, in the same alignment. The panels never seem to work out well. I agree. Let's leave the post in place and let's see how he addresses the rest of it.
What I prefer to do is go over exactly 12 inches, 14 inches, whatever. As long as you do that with every one of these posts, you can replace them over time. And once you're switched over to all steel posts, they'll still be on even 8-foot spacings. That way you don't have to deal with the labor of removing this concrete, and this concrete remaining in the fence line helps with some soil migration and actually makes the fence stronger. Step one.
One thing we would do if we were replacing these posts, we would actually center the post on the section. It gives both those posts a little bit more added stability rather than just standing over 12 to 14 inches. To each their own. I'd be interested to hear how you guys handle that.
Probably want to take a shovel and gingerly dig around here looking for any sprinkler lines. Once you're about 8 to 10 inches deep, you're usually pretty good. We're about 12 to 14 inches down and I still don't see it. So we're good to dig
Not
this
a
hole
rock.
the rest of the way.
Pretty slick. You also know there's no rocks because we're using a one-man auger. I would love to live in a market where you can use one of these augers. It means the ground's typically pretty good.
Plumb it in and out from the fence line. Then I'm going to pour the concrete. Now, once you got your concrete in there dry.
So he's using quickset, which just means if he wants to, he can do this repair same day. It's a great idea.
I'm going to replumb it both directions to my liking. Okay, that looks good to add water. Typically, you want about 3.8 liters for a full bag. This is about 90% of the
gallon.
bag, so I'm going to go just shy of that. I pour some on the post to rinse any of the cement off.
It's a nice attention to detail. It's one of the, I mean, I'm sure this is probably only something contractors look at, but when looking at other fences, it's always interesting to see, you know, how much concrete is left on the post.
And then while it's curing, give it one last check over for plumb, and that one's good. I used my post pounder, and I pounded it down to perfect height. If you're using an 8-foot post, you really don't want it sticking up because that means it's not deep enough. This was a 9-foot long cutoff from a 10-footer, so it was a little longer than it needed to be.
You could just dig the post all the way instead of driving it. Again, each their own.
The next step is going to be to come back in 24 to 48 hours and add 32-inch rail segments.
So if you're going to come back 2 days later, you could use a standard concrete mix. You don't necessarily have to do the fast mix or the quick set. That's really made for if you're wanting to do same day repairs.
All right, 2 days later, we're back. The idea is to take these 32-inch scab rails, put brackets on here, And slide the scab rails through to where they overlap where these two rails meet, and that way it'll tie it all together. We'll go to about this picket. Okay, I like to put all 3 brackets here on the rail. Make sure you point the screw somewhere you can get your impact. If there's another post here, that won't work, so you'd have to put the bolt the other way.
Shameless plug, if you'd like to find the Nationwide Industries version of these brackets, ozfence.store.
So we're just gonna slide all 3 of them on. Slide one all the way to the bottom. Close enough for now. Slide the next one on. And really, I'm just wanting to start with the top one. Okay, so now I'm going to put our overlap board in, our scab board.
I'm really not sure the benefit here. Typically, like I said, we would install them midway between the 2 posts, and we would just tie these posts directly to the fence panel. I'm not sure what the added benefit is. If you've got an idea, let me know in the comments below.
Line it up with the edge of this picket right there. I'm going to screw it on, then I'm going to have my helper go on the other side and screw through each picket into the scab rail. Is that if all these are to the left of their post between 12 and 15 inches, you'll be on right about 8-foot spacing with the steel post when the time comes to tear all of the wood down and replace it.
All right, we'll skip ahead again.
This allows you to make repairs that prevent the fence from falling over in the meantime, but the cost of those repairs is applied towards the replacement. When you replace this fence, you won't need to pay for all new steel posts. Everything you need to know about the process of rebuilding it is right here.
All right, guys, so one thing, it doesn't look like he capped the post. You would want to cap these posts to keep water out, keep them from freezing, that sort of thing. All in all, I like the fact that he used steel posts. Absolutely agree that the steel posts are the way to go. When you go to replace this fence, it's nice being able to reuse the post, reuse some of that investment to fixing it up towards your next fence. The scab rails, I don't know. I mean, those would end up being replaced when the fence gets replaced anyway. Again, not sure of the benefit there, but all in all, I think a pretty decent job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. For now, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, and I'll see you next time.